Greetings, world, and everyone else who's here. Today we're going to talk about SNAP. What is SNAP? And also, why should we care? Unfortunately, our whiteboard doesn't show up too well, but it'll help me as a prop. So I happen to be at our Larson Training Center campus in Santa Fe Springs, California today. This is the LA campus for SNAP, which will be starting soon. And what is SNAP? SNAP is a business that helps people learn entrepreneurial skills. SNAP is a business that helps people learn entrepreneurial skills. Okay, cool. Cool, what does that mean? Well, it's a business. SNAP is not a school. It's not a charity. It's not a government agency. It's not a bunch of people saying, hey, we've got this idea, let's try this out. SNAP is a business. And, you know, business is an enterprise that revolves around for the purpose of money, commerce. So SNAP is a thing that's out to make money. And like all businesses that are good that make money, they provide a service. So SNAP is a business that helps people learn entrepreneurial skills. So the key thing about that is learning is something that's pulled, where teaching is something that's pushed. SNAP doesn't teach entrepreneurial skills, it helps people learn entrepreneurial skills. And then the next question is, what's cool? What's an entrepreneur? So what would you say, Dennis? What's an entrepreneur?
You would think it was someone that basically started their own business from some type of, well, basically someone that started their own business.
Okay. So
that the need for something, and they started their own business.
Yeah, so that's a good answer. An entrepreneur is a person who finds solutions to things that people need. Do computers help find solutions?
Definitely.
Yeah, but can a computer be an entrepreneur? No, a computer can't be an entrepreneur.
But it helps you find.
So an entrepreneur has to be a person that finds solutions. Okay, can a pencil help you find a solution? Yeah. Right, because you write it down. Okay, or you're figuring it out. You're figuring something out.
Right.
But a pencil can't be an entrepreneur because it's not a person.
No, it's a tool to help you.
It's a tool to help you. Could a guy standing on the side of a road in Mexico selling oranges be an entrepreneur?
He stole my hair.
Yes, he could.
Yes, he could.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why?
Why? Because
First of all, he's a person.
Well, entrepreneurship to me is a business, and he's providing a need.
Okay.
People want the oranges, or they want whatever he's selling. He's an entrepreneur in those respects.
Okay, so an entrepreneur is a person, for our purposes, an entrepreneur is a person who supplies solutions, let's say commercial, solutions to people's needs. Could a priest be an entrepreneur? Are priests entrepreneurs?
Yeah, so.
Well, they find solutions to needs, but they don't do it for money, right?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Well, some of them, good, okay, good priests, okay?
Good priests, right.
Okay, good priests don't say, pay me and I'll help you.
But they write self-help books, which would be part of.
Okay, so that's a business.
Mm-hmm.
That's not being the priest, the preacher, right? That's his business. So that would be an entrepreneurial business of the priest. So an entrepreneur is a person who provides solutions to people's needs. So if it's a guy selling fruit on the side of the road in Mexico, what is the solution? What's the solution he's providing?
The solution is you have a need, he wants it, and he has the oranges or whatever he's selling. That's the solution.
Right, that's the solution. And so SNAP is a business that helps people learn the skills to teach people how to provide solutions to other people's needs. That's what SNAP is. Does that seem basic?
Yes.
Okay. And again, one of the key things is it helps people learn. This isn't a teaching thing. And so you learn entrepreneurial skills. And, so what are some entrepreneurial skills? Let's write those down.
Okay, we talked about, of course, we want to start.
Okay, let's imagine it's a guy standing on the side of the road in Mexico selling fruit. What does he need to be able to do that?
Communication.
Okay, he needs to do marketing, right?
Marketing.
Because some guys standing on the side of the road are going to be better at selling fruit than other guys, right?
Correct. Right. Marketing.
And so I'm going to say marketing sales.
Marketing sales.
Okay. He might say, I want to let people know that I have the best oranges, and I'm 2 blocks away.
Okay.
His sales part might be when you say, can I have an orange? He might say, well, how about 2?
Right.
Okay.
Upsell.
Okay, even better. Right.
Right.
Try one. I have really good oranges. Okay, what else do you need to know to find that solution to people's needs in Mexico, people who want to buy fruit? What else do you need to know?
To me, I think they would need to find a prime spot.
Okay.
Location.
So location. So
Business is location.
Okay.
Location.
So part of that would be they need to be in a good spot. So they need to be able to figure out things like where is a good spot. It's sort of like economics, right? If I stand over on that corner and that's the side of the street that everybody's coming home from work, maybe I should be selling tacos or something. But they're going to work on this side of the road. This is the side of the road that everybody is going to work.
I'll be able to
So-
get them when they coming back
so-
on the other side.
So an orange might be something good. But yeah, in the morning,
Right.
I don't want to be on that side of the road if everybody's on this side of the road.
Exactly.
Now, who has figured that out? What business has figured that out?
Let's see.
Everything.
Huh?
Everything. She said
Okay,
everything.
Starbucks.
Everything.
Oh.
Starbucks is now opening stores on both sides of the road.
Okay.
And that's the same with gas stations. You see gas stations on both sides
Yeah.
of the road, different ones. On each, there's like one on
Right.
each corner.
Okay, but
Yeah.
Starbucks in Las Vegas, it's not uncommon to see a Starbucks here on this side and 2 blocks down or 2 blocks down this way, because wherever they could get one, there's a Starbucks on the other side.
Like you
Because
said,
they'll get you going to work
They get you coming and going.
and they get you going. So that's part of analysis, figuring out your business.
Right.
What's another skill that you need to have?
How about
Acknowledgement.
funding?
Funding.
Because
Where do
we
I
have
get the
to
money to buy the
buy
oranges?
Right, to buy your oranges. So
Okay.
funding, you have to have money to buy that. Get that.
Okay.
And then accounting. You need to
Accounting.
count your dollars.
Okay, so you need to have accounting, because maybe I'm selling all my oranges every day, but I come home and I don't have enough money to buy more oranges, or I only have enough money to buy oranges and I spend all day long selling oranges and I only have enough money to buy oranges.
Okay.
I'm not making a profit.
Okay.
Okay, what else?
We talked about what
And you gotta know
Uh-huh.
the city laws.
The laws, okay,
The
so
laws.
you need to know
laws.
law. What do I need to do now in standing on a street,
I have to get my
the side of the road in
license.
Mexico? It might not be
Whatever,
like
right.
here
Right. I have a license to sell.
in Las
I
Vegas.
understand.
It's
Not in Mexico.
Well, I
It's
know.
a little undercover.
Yeah, that's everything. That's
Just
what
give them a
everything in
bite and
Mexico,
they're
right.
move on.
in Las Vegas. You have to have to sell anything. You have to have your licenses and your permits, and you might have to have be fingerprinted and do all types of stuff. And if you don't do that, they're going to know very quickly, and you're going to be out of business, and it's not going to be good. So you need to have that. What else?
How about, well, this might fall under marketing, but like you say, media.
Okay.
Able to get.
So in Mexico, at the side of the road, probably not a lot of
Okay,
technology or media involved in that. But for a regular business today,
right.
especially today, it's very important. Web 2.0, all businesses are moving to the cloud.
Okay.
All businesses. So if you want to have a business of selling food at a farmer's market here, what you might want to do is have a Facebook page, a Google Plus community where you're telling people, okay, here's the farmers markets we go to, and you might want to have a video showing the products that you're going to be selling, or showing what your little booth looks like at this farmers market.
Right.
You know, sort of like what we're doing right here with this Hangout on Air. When we're done with this is going to be on YouTube. And what we'll do is we'll send a link to everybody we possibly can. We'll promote it on our Facebook page so people can understand what Snap is all about. So, media.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can get on radio. TV is very inexpensive. With the magazine that we do, Chow Tutti, we get TV commercials for less than $1, or about $1 a commercial. Because the TV companies, if you think about it, there's 24 hours in a day times 7 days, that's 168 hours a week, that they might need to have 10 commercials per station. So that's 1,680 TV commercials just for one channel. So if they got $1 for every one, that wouldn't be necessarily bad. Okay, what else do we need? What other skills do we have? Do we need to be concerned about if we want to provide solutions? Do we want to think about? Go ahead.
How would like future technology play
Okay,
into that?
so you have technology
Right.
that maybe I can have a way that I can have a stand where people can pay, put money in, and the fruit will come out.
Right.
Like a vending machine.
Or you know those little credit swiper things
Okay.
that they have that they just put them on their phones now.
Okay.
And then you can
They
just
might
pay
not
that way
work.
for the debit or
Okay.
whatever.
Absolutely. Square. Might not work on the side of the road in Mexico.
Right.
But,
I mean, well, in Mexico, right? But
here,
I'm trying to get away
you're
from
right.
that.
So
Right.
technology.
But,
I'm
right.
here, that's why.
Right. But
Excellent point that now
Right.
you can take a credit card transaction from anybody, anytime,
Right. Exactly.
with a Square unit attached to your cell phone.
Right. So I'm just trying to figure out how maybe technology.
So that would work for the guys standing on the street corners here selling fruit, or the guys that want to wash your windows, right?
Mhm.
They could say, I take credit cards.
Yeah. Exactly.
So probably not a good idea, but technology would be very important there.
Right.
And in terms of the future, I want to think in terms of being able to figure out, well, what happens if fruit are not in season?
Good point.
Should I get bananas? Should I have papaya? Should I have mango? What are other things I should have?
And then in doing off seasons,
You
do your prices go up?
Right.
Right. You know,
So that
because
comes
there's a
back to
shortage.
this.
Right.
So these are skills that entrepreneurs need to have. Now, is it only entrepreneurs that need to have that? What about if somebody works at a McDonald's?
Yeah.
Do they still consider these?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you knew these things, if you had these skills, would that help you in your career at McDonald's?
Yes.
Definitely make you much more valuable.
Might make you much more valuable, right? So we've broken it down at Snap that there are eight essential entrepreneurial skills. There's more than 8, but there's 8 essential entrepreneurial skills. So one is the future. Because as much as we've seen things change in our lifetimes, in the next 10 to 20 years, they're going to change radically. In fact, half of the jobs that will exist 20 years from now do not exist today. You can't get the job. It doesn't exist today. So let me ask this question. Anybody ever see anybody with the smartphone walking around, just sitting around playing on their smartphone?
Who hasn't?
Okay. 10 years ago, how many people were doing that?
Yeah.
How many?
Yeah, not
Zero.
Right.
There were no smartphones 10 years ago. The iPhone came out 9 years ago.
Wow.
So in 10 years, it went from nobody having a smartphone, and it was just starting to do texting on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could have a BlackBerry that had texting. But phones were really for calling, talking on. Today, who uses their phone mostly for talking? It's other stuff, right?
Yes, there's everything else.
Okay.
There's everything else.
In less than 10 years, this thing that nobody ever used is now everybody's doing it. And 10 years ago, if you needed to get to someplace and you didn't know where it was, how did you do it?
You stopped at the gas station and asked directions.
Or did what?
Or you use the map.
A map.
Or a map.
And
Yeah,
what did
or a
maps
map.
look like?
Yeah,
I
well,
ask people in school that are less than 20 about
They don't
maps.
know
They
what a
don't
map
know what a
looks
map
like.
looks like.
They were cumbersome, big.
Hard to refold,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. You never fold them back the same way.
Exactly. So that is gone. That map business gone. Now,
You have
if
Google
you want to
Maps
go
and Waze.
anywhere, you use your smartphone, and on mine I say, okay, Google, directions to
Such and
Larson
such a
Training
way.
Center, Santa
Exactly.
Fe Springs.
And pops up, right?
And it says, okay, you'll be there at 9:10.
And it gives you two
And
or
guess
three
what time
different
I got
routes to
here?
Go there.
9:10.
19.
You know?
Right.
And
It's
so,
perfect, right, exactly.
but that's nothing compared to the next 10,
Next wave.
20 years. So I will say to people, when I was a kid, when I was born, when I can first remember things, we didn't have area codes. My phone number was Victor 65110. No area code.
Wow.
No zip code. No seat belts.
Where'd you live?
In Oakland.
Oh. Okay.
They didn't have
In the Bay Area.
seatbelts when you was born either.
Okay? No seat belts. Houses had
Zip codes and all that.
houses had antennas with
Right.
big poles with antennas on the top.
Uh-huh.
No
I
cable.
remember those.
There was no cable.
For your TV.
No microwave.
Well, true.
Okay? When I was a kid and a jet would go across the sky, people would say, hey, look, there's an airplane. Nobody does that now, right? Because it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Okay? Then the internet, cable TV, microwaves, internet, email. I remember my first email account back in, a long time ago, 1985, where very few people had them. I got mine through UCSD. And it was, well, what's the purpose of email? Nobody I know has an email account.
Mm.
When websites first became available, the number one thing for businesses was, who's going to look at my website? Why do I want to pay money for a website? Nobody's going to look at it. Now you can't live without either of those.
Yeah.
But that is nothing compared to the future. So a vital entrepreneurial skill is the future. 3 big things that are going to happen in the future. 1, self-driving cars. 2, drones. 3, Hyperloop.
I'm sorry?
Hyperloop. Hyperloop is a new idea for a mass transit train type system, but you're not in a train, you're in a pod. And the pod might be as long as this room, and there could be 6, 8, 10 people in it. And it's in this big tube, like a vacuum tube. And it's on a magnetic thing, and it will travel 700 miles an hour. So you could live in Barstow, well, that would be too cool. You could live in Barstow and commute to here in like 5 minutes. But the idea would be you could live in Montana or in New Mexico and commute to work in an hour. That's going to change everything, because now you'll see communities springing up in the middle of nowhere.
Right, because now they have the means of
Land is cheap.
transportation to get there.
Just have water, cheap land, build these things, Hyperloop. And it's kind of cool the way it works is you accelerate half the way, half the distance. So you're using energy, right? The next half of the way you decelerate. What does that do? That creates friction, which is turned into what? Energy, which is used to do what? Recharge the battery.
Yeah, repower, whatever, right.
So they'll be very efficient. So it's not going to be expensive to do the Hyperloop. 2 weeks ago in North Las Vegas, an LA company, there was what's called a Kitty Hawk moment. Like Kitty Hawk is famous for what? That's where the Wright brothers had their first unmanned flight.
Right.
Controlled unmanned flight was a Kitty Hawk. So the first Hyperloop Kitty Hawk moment occurred about 3 weeks ago in Las Vegas, where they tested this thing, just the little pod thing. It's on YouTube. And it went from 0 to 116 miles an hour in 1.1 seconds.
1.1 seconds.
Yeah. And that's only like 400 miles an hour. So that's only like half the speed that this thing will go.
How about the people inside? Did they say anything as far as the effects that the people would have?
Okay, so at the maximum acceleration, you'll get up to 1 G.
1 G.
Okay, so that's double your weight.
So in Vegas, where did it go?
Or 2 G, double your weight.
Where did it go? It went to?
Just was on a train track and just went out.
Oh, just went, okay.
And it didn't have brakes, so they had big piles of sand. And so when you see the little video of it, it's just splashing up sand and then it stops.
To stop it.
And but you bring up a good question. So what's it going to look like from the inside? What are you going to see?
Yeah, and how are you going
to deal with that pressure?
It's just going to be like going up in an elevator, but faster.
Like it's 6 Flags.
But you're just going straight. You're not doing any of this.
Right.
You're just going straight. You're accelerating. But what are you going to see from the inside? What is it going to look like?
From the inside,
Like a ray?
pretty much just a...
When you're sitting on the inside and you're looking out
just
around.
a lure.
It's a ray.
No.
What?
This is what gets really cool about the future.
Okay.
And why it's important to learn this entrepreneurial skill is to think about the future. Because the whole inside is going to be LCD screens. It's going to be a surround
Oh, is that right?
video
Oh.
all around. So you could program it to say, let's pretend we're flying through space. We're doing Star Trek. And everything you see around you is going to be that. Or you might say, let's pretend we're in a submarine going in the ocean.
Oh, okay. So I got you.
And you look, and it's
This
these
is a virtual
screens.
reality type
It's
thing.
like a virtual reality. Or you say, let's pretend we're in a stagecoach in the Wild Wild West,
Mhm.
and there's some Indians chasing us.
So it's limited.
Unlimited.
Right, unlimited.
Limitless.
Right, yeah.
So-
right.
It's
Right,
not
right.
just that the Hyperloop is going to get people from here to there a lot faster.
Mm.
Now you have people on the inside that can have a great experience. It could be a learning chamber.
Mm.
It could be learning physics from Isaac Newton or Einstein.
Right. Like I said, it's wow.
Okay? This is all going to happen in the next 20 years. They did the trial for the Hyperloop 2 weeks ago, the first Kitty Hawk moment, and everything was good. So the future is a very important entrepreneurial skill. Another product, self-driving cars. What's going to change when self-driving cars come out?
At the beginning,
Oh,
more accidents.
Everything.
Everything. I mean, it'll
No
take you
more,
close,
no
like,
accidents.
No accidents.
The cars are going to be able to drive 6 inches apart. Why? Because the processors, the computers are able to do 100 calculations a second. We can do about 4 when we're paying attention. But we have short attention spans.
Right.
So like for me, when I drive, I'm driving, talking to the person next to me,
Mhm.
eating a hamburger, and texting. Well, not texting.
Okay.
But I'm doing all that at the
Right,
same
right.
time. Okay?
Same.
No, not texting.
Not texting. Right.
No. I might be doing voice texting, but I'm not texting.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, but anyway, the point is, I'm not really paying attention. These cars have 7 cameras on them. They're connected to GPS. They're connected to cars around them. They know what's happening. When there's 10 cars at a stoplight now and the light turns green and you're the 10th car, how long does it take before you start moving?
Oh, it was like 20 seconds.
About 10 seconds. It's
Yeah.
about 1 second per car.
Okay.
In the future with self-driving cars, when the light turns green, when do you start moving?
Yes.
Now,
Mhm.
instantly, now, because they're doing
Yeah,
100
because
calculations a
it's all-
second.
Yeah.
And then you can be driving on the freeway at 100 miles an hour at better fuel efficiency because you're just right up one against another. Looks like a train.
Mm-hmm.
When you have self-driving cars, well, let me ask this question. You have a car. If you drive an average of 15,000 miles a year, how much time do you use your car a day?
Oh, it's hard to calculate. It may probably
Less than 2 hours.
Yeah, I was about to say a couple hours.
Couple hours a day. What's your car doing the other 22 hours?
Mhm.
Sitting in a parking lot somewhere or in your garage.
Right.
Okay. Now, in the future, you'll have an app. You'll sign up to a service. You'll have an app, and maybe Rose says, "I'll let my car be used for anybody that wants to go to church,
Mhm.
and they're going to pay me $300 a month plus gas, $300 a month for when I'm not using my car. It'll go pick these people up and bring them to church." Dennis, you might say, "Well, I'll do that for people who want to go to the barber shop
Right.
or whatever."
When you go to the cleaners or whatever.
Okay.
Right.
And
Store,
so
grocery
you'll get a little
store,
message
whatever.
on your phone.
Mhm.
Okay, we're going to use your car to go do blah, blah, blah. Click OK. So it'll be like Uber on steroids.
So
Okay. Your car will go, pick the people up, come back. Now, what if you were making an extra $300 a month on your car? What would you think of the next time you bought a car? You might think in terms of, I can get a better car.
Right.
Mhm. Because
I can
have
afford
extra
this.
income.
They're going to pay me $3, but let's pretend it's $2. So I could have a $500 car payment. And I really am only responsible for $3. I'm going to get another $3.
Because my car is basically making me money.
My
So
car's
it-
making me money when I'm not using it.
Yeah.
And then, are you ever going to go to the gas station?
No, your car go to the gas station and get fuel.
Tune up?
Same thing.
Same thing. You're ever going to need to have car insurance is going to get really cheap.
Right, because with that, we'll be a lot less
Less
accidents.
There's going to be no wrecks, so you're not going to have insurance adjusters and people fixing cars. A lot of jobs like that are going to go away. But a lot of other jobs will spring up
Created, right.
to do that. So self-driving cars will change everything. We're not going to have to spend time doing stuff. And now, instead of our car just sitting around, we can make money from it.
Mhm.
What is the number that Uber says if you drive less than this amount per year, you should use Uber? I think they say if you drive less than $25,000 a year, it's cheaper to use Uber
25,000 miles?
miles.
Mhm.
If you drive less than 25,000 miles a year, it's cheaper
Okay.
to use Uber than to buy a car because you have your car payment, insurance, maintenance, fuel.
But that's most people then. Mm-hmm.
I think that's the number.
Yeah, but that's most people then.
Okay, that it's cheaper to just use Uber. And Uber is going to continue to get less expensive because now they have this ride-sharing stuff they're trying out. I don't know if they have it here, but things that they're doing. And in the future, when you don't need a driver, you're Uber and the driver doesn't have to make money, now what? It's going to get really cheap, right?
Yeah.
Third, technology that's going to change everything. Drones.
Oh, yeah.
Drones are going to change everything. So today, if a drone flew out there, was out in the parking lot, and I said, hey, there's a drone out there, we might want to go out and see it, right? Because it's rare. In the future, it's going to be like somebody saying, hey, there's an airplane. It's like today, if I said, hey, there's an airplane, it would be like, so? Is there something special about this? Or is it like the kind I can see any time of the day? So in the future, we're going to see drones everywhere. And package delivery is going to be a huge thing.
Trying them out, right?
So here's the thing. How much does it cost to send a package UPS?
Well, it depends on
Or
how
FedEx.
much it weighs and how
Just
far
an
it's
average.
$15 to $20.
Okay.
from. About,
So
about
let's
10
say
bucks.
it's 10.
Right.
And when do you get it?
And that depends too.
Let's say
That
next
depends.
day.
That's another thing, right? So maybe same
Next
day,
day it's gonna cost you like $35, $40.
Okay, let's say it's $10 next day.
$10 next day. Okay.
Let's say it's that.
Okay.
Now, let's say there's a drone. The drone costs you $5,000. And it's going to last 5 years.
Mhm.
And you're going to put another $5,000 into it in spare parts and maintenance and do whatever.
That's 10,000.
10,000.
Mhm.
It's going to last 5 years. So how much is that going to cost you per year?
Is that
2,000. Right.
2,000. Yeah.
It's going to cost you $2,000 a year. And let's say, just hypothetically, there's another $1,600 per year in other costs.
36.
Maybe electricity, batteries, whatever. So that's going to cost you $3,600 a year, right? How much is that per month?
12, 3. Let's see.
300.
300.
Okay.
300.
And say these drones can work 30 every day. So divide that by 30,
$10 bucks.
$10 a day. And say a drone can do 10 deliveries a day.
That's $100 bucks.
$10
$90 profit.
It's going to cost. So it's going to cost you $10 a day. You can do 10 deliveries. So
That's
divide that by 10 equals how much per delivery?
$1.
$1. Now, if I said to you, Dennis, here's your
Wow.
choice. You can send this package and it will be delivered tomorrow for $10 at some point in time
No question.
to the person's house or to their work, or they can pick it up. Or for $3, I'll have it delivered to you today, and you can have it delivered right to wherever you are because
Right.
it'll get GPS off your
On
phone.
on your track.
And you'll have a choice, and it will say 30 minutes beforehand, okay, your package is going to be delivered in 30 minutes. Where do you want it to go? To me.
Yeah. No question. Right. Gotcha.
Do you think that the UPS, if they're charging $10, do you think their cost is 1/3? No, it's a lot more.
Right.
Here the cost is $1. But we would gladly pay 5. We'd probably pay
Right,
10.
right. Right.
If I said, would you rather pay $10 to have the package delivered tomorrow to your house or work, or $10 to have it delivered today to wherever you are?
Of course, you take it.
You
$10 today.
More money or less?
Yeah.
These guys, the drone people, are going to make more money,
They're gonna do
and
that.
we're going to benefit too. One day in the future, this job doesn't exist today. One day in the future, all job sites are going to have drones flying around them to make sure that the construction workers are doing things properly. So I came in this entrance over here, and there's a big sign that says hard hat area. Does everybody wear a hard hat?
No.
No,
Mhm.
they're supposed to. But if
They
there's a
right there,
drone with a camera
And monitor it.
and it's
somebody
monitoring,
sitting watching just on.
so this is a big job that's going to open up is drone pilots. Let's say security. One day in the future, all security companies are going to have drones. They will need pilots. But the drone will be programmed to fly this pattern. If something comes up out of the ordinary, the guy sitting there watching 50 screens will see it. They'll focus on it. A drone can do in 3 minutes what a security guard does in 30. Now let's say drone's flying along and there's somebody on the ground not moving. Today, if there's no camera, you don't know. If there is a camera, what do? Somebody sees the camera and they call EMT or whatever.
What's going on, right?
Okay. In the future with drones, the pilot will say, I'm going to fly the drone in, I'm going to land. First, I'm going to look around, make sure there's no danger. Okay.
Right.
I'm going to land, and I have my microphone and my camera, and I'm going to talk to the person. I'm going to try to find out what's your status. Because then, when the EMTs arrive, I want them to do what? I want them to know what's going on.
Right. They give them, say, hey, he's not breathing, he's breathing.
He said he's having a heart attack. He said he got mugged. He got shot.
His blood, whatever. Right.
Okay? That's the future.
Right. Right.
That job doesn't exist today. It's going to exist tomorrow. I was driving around. No, I was standing in a parking lot. A van pulled in, and on the side of the van, it said drone golf. I said, I got to learn about this. What is this? Drone golf. He said, there's 2 companies in the world today that offer drone golf. So drone golf is you're piloting your drone and you're playing golf. And it's how close can I get it to the hole. But the rule is I can't hover. No hovering.
No hovering. Oh, so you have to go
I can't
straight
fly in.
And then, of course, that make it too easy. Right.
So if I want the ball to roll, I'm flying my drone as fast as I can, right? And then I let it go, and the ball's going to release and roll, right? What if I don't want it to roll? I'm going to have my drone go like this, and I'm going to drop it right there, and it's going to go down.
Wow. So it's all about.
Does that sound like a sport that takes skill?
People will get into it, yes. They will get into that. Oh, I can see it.
Okay. Does that really exist today? Yeah, it did. Did it exist last month? No. The guy just started this business.
Wow.
That's just 3 things. Hyperloop is going to change everything. Self-driving cars change everything. And also, what are you going to see from the inside of your self-driving car?
You probably can do the same thing.
It's exactly the same thing. Are there going to be a lot of jobs for people to be creating content?
Exactly.
Okay. So we're going to be shifting. Jobs are going to shift from physical stuff to creating experiences for people. Because you need actors, you need people to write code, you need people to edit, you need all that type of stuff. So people are going to do that. So the future is a very important, it's an essential entrepreneurial skill. What's happening in the future? So one thing at Snap we say to people is, well, one thing we know is for sure. People are still going to eat. Okay? You might not want to get a job in fast food because that could be automated. But nice restaurants, or restaurants where there's an experience, those will still be around because people are still going to want to go celebrate or be with friends and be waiting on. Okay? So the future, closely related to that, is technology. Okay, what technology exists today? What's going to exist in the future? You can't be a good entrepreneur. You can't really come up with solutions to people's needs if you don't have the right technology. You know, a guy standing on the side of the road in Mexico with oranges, and there's a guy standing next to him with a machine that will juice the oranges. Because what do most people want to do with oranges? Well, they eat them, but why? What do they eat them for?
Yeah,
not the roughage.
Right. And
for the juice. Let's say it's coconuts.
Right.
You got one guy standing here selling coconuts, green coconuts, and there's another guy standing next to him with coconuts, and he'll chop them, split them, do whatever, put a straw in it, you can drink the juice. So technology is very important. The next thing that's sort of related is funding. Where do I get money to start my business? And this is the simple answer that most people think is venture capital. But very few businesses get venture capital. There's a lot of other ways, and customer funded is the best way. Everybody knows Dell computers. Here we have Dell computers, right? I see an HP, but we have Dell computers. How did Dell start? Who's the guy that started Dell? Right, Michael Dell.
Okay.
Michael Dell started Dell when he was in college. How did he start it? He said, you pay me, I'll build you a computer. Give me the money up front. So people gave him the money up front. He went and bought the parts. He built a computer. And that's how Dell started. And that was a big part of their business. You pay up front. They go get
Dell was
credit.
like that. You could have your computer basically customized. Whatever you wanted, we'll put this and build it for you.
Exactly.
Right? That was their thing. That's right.
Okay. So funding is another important thing. Marketing and sales. Put that next to it. That's kind of self-evident. That's an important skill. Most people don't like to sell. Why not?
They don't like rejection.
Okay, why not? They don't like hearing. They don't like people saying no, right?
Right.
Why not?
Sounds like failure.
Okay.
And well, you definitely won't.
Here's what it turns out. Turns out, this is something that we learned as little kids. Because when we did something we weren't supposed to do, our mother would say no. No, Dennis.
Right.
Okay? And no meant stop. So in our non-conscious brain, our subconscious brain, we have a little program running around that says, if somebody tells you no, they're saying stop. So I hate going to work where my customers keep telling me to stop. But I don't know that it's stop. I just hear them rejecting me, and I think, boo-hoo, a rejection. It's not that. So what we teach people is it's not N-O, it's what? It's K-N-O-W. It's not no, it's they didn't know. So where did you go wrong? Because the person, if you're dealing with somebody who needs the product and can afford the product, and they said, N-O, it's not no. They can afford it and they need it. You did something wrong. Don't blame them because they said no. They just didn't know. Now you can go back and say, okay, what did I do wrong? So how about anybody ever raised being told don't talk to strangers?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That's this little subroutine going in our brain that gets us to say, I don't like selling. Well, why? Because of rejection. No, it's not that. It's because when you were 2, you were told don't talk to strangers. Here's what it turns out. People whose dads were salesmen for a living and like selling, their attitude with strangers was, that's not a stranger, that's just a friend you haven't met yet. It wasn't stranger danger, it was that's a friend you haven't met.
Stranger danger.
Okay? So it turns out that kids that grow up in households where people sell, they don't have fear of selling. They don't have fear of rejection because it's not N-O, it's K-N-O-W. And it's not stranger, it's friend who I haven't met. So you can learn to overcome those skills. So marketing. 5, sort of related to that, human resources. Because what do entrepreneurs do? They work in teams. What are businesses? Very few businesses are one guy. It's building teams. So building teams means how do you hire and train people? And how do you make sure people are doing their job? And unfortunately, if you hire the wrong people, it's also how do you get rid of them? So closely related to that is business law. Contracts, property rights. So you learn that. 7, like we talked before, is accounting. Getting your QuickBooks certificate. QuickBooks is the #1 accounting software package for small businesses in the world. Very vital to know whether you're going to have your own business or whether you're going to work for someone else. And at Snap, one of the skills that people do is they do the 130-hour QuickBooks course, which this is not the QuickBooks classroom, so you don't have any of their books in here, right? I don't see a QuickBooks book.
I didn't get it.
That's okay.
Okay.
But, so accounting is very important. And then the 8th skill
It's media.
is media. So that's YouTube. That's like what we're doing right here with this Hangout on Air. It's media. It's TV. It's radio. It's internet. It's how do I actually communicate my message, not what do I say in my message. How do I do it? How do I do a website? How do I do these things? How do I use the tools on the internet to be successful? So that's what Snap does. Now, do they teach you this in college?
Partially.
Not partially. Do they teach you this? So I went to school. My undergraduate degree was in finance, and I have a law degree. In my work experience, I learned a bunch of this other stuff. But there is no program that teaches you all these. But let's say it did. How long does it take to go to college?
4 to 6 years.
Okay. Do people get out of college here in 4 years in LA?
It depends.
Some.
Some may
A
take
few,
an extra year.
Okay. So in Nevada at UNLV, 14% of people get out in 4 years. Only 14% can get out in 4 years. And that's typically like if you're in a STEM, science, technology, engineering, or math class, or if you're going to get a teaching degree and you're lucky. Most people, it's 5 years. And on UNLV's website, it's $16,000 a year if you live at home. But that's not just tuition. It's not tuition and books. It's not tuition, books, and registration. It's everything. Parking, lunch, food is going to cost you $16,000 a year. And the average person at UNLV is 6 years, so that's about $96,000 that you have invested, either cash or you owe, when you get out of UNLV. And I don't know, what's UCLA or USC? A lot more than that, right?
Yeah, probably.
And that's in-state. This is in-state.
It's like 32.
So it's double.
Okay, now, here's the problem with Nevada. There's only really 2, UNLV and UNR. There's other Phoenix and places like that, but there's 2 state schools. There's CSN. But if you want to go to school, if you live in Nevada, you went to high school in Nevada, and you want to go to UCLA, how much does it cost if you're out of state?
Oh, yeah.
Extra $10,000, $20,000?
Yeah.
So Nevada kind of has this double whammy problem that there's no good schools in Nevada, good universities. UNR is ranked as a Tier 2 university, UNLV is Tier 3. And I will say that because my daughter, who's graduating from high school this year, went to the school things, and they have the schools come in. And the Navy came in, the Navy and the military came in, and the Navy got her attention. When I was younger, probably when you were younger, the message from the Navy was join the Navy, see the world. Right? Weren't you Navy?
No, I was Air Force.
Oh, okay. So Navy.
But same thing. It was the same type of.
Okay.
Right.
Join the Navy, see the world. Now the message for my daughter was, you're crazy if you're going to go in debt to get a college degree. Join the Navy. Learn, not these skills, but learn good skills. And then when you want to go to college, we'll pay for it.
That's what got me and my kids in the Air Force.
Okay.
Both of them. Yeah.
So she joined the Navy, and she did well enough on her ASVAB to do naval intelligence, something like that it's called.
Okay. Right.
And so that positions her well. And then she has to do 6 years.
Okay.
Then she could go in the reserves,
Okay.
and she could do quite well, right? But that's a 6-year commitment. But if you want to go to college, it's about $100,000. It's what it's going to cost you. So I think we agree the SNAP curriculum is very valuable, right?
Yes.
What you
Most
learn.
definitely.
And you don't have to want to start your own business. You could go work for someone else. Yesterday I gave a presentation for a group. And I went around the room and said, what do you want to do? And she said, I want to be a dental hygienist. I have to do this and this and this. And then someday I want to be a dentist. I said, okay, well, maybe SNAP isn't for you because you want to go into a field that it's going to be that. I said, but on the other hand, if you went to SNAP, here's what you would come out with. You'd come out with an idea of, hey, how about if I start a business and I go to schools and I go to businesses and I go to churches and I go to other places and I say teeth cleaning $5. If I market it, is that a good price for teeth cleaning?
Yeah.
And I said, how many could you do in a day? And I went to shopping centers and went wherever. Teeth cleaning, $5. She said, and I said, how many could you do? How many teeth things could you do? She said 100. I said, wow.
So $500 a day.
$500 a day. And you have one of these RVs that's set up as a dental office. Not a tent, not a pop-up. But you drive in, sterile environment. So you've got to pay for that, but it's $500 a day. And then furthermore, you go make a deal with a dentist and say, would you pay me $50 for every referral? You think a dentist would do that?
Sure.
And a guaranteed low price? And I said, do you think you could get 3 referrals a day? If you're working on people's teeth, the kind of people that pay $5, they probably have a dental issue, right?
But that's extra
$150. Now you've got $650. I said, what if you got somebody to help you? So it's not just you. So now you can do 200 people, like at a shopping mall. You drive around to churches, whatever, shopping mall. You got 200 people, and you said to that person, I'll pay you $250 a day. Can you get somebody? Yeah. Now how much are you making?
$1,000 a day.
Now you're up to that. Is your van, is there anywhere in the history, in reality, that it would cost you $1,000 a day for this used RV?
No.
That you've cleaned up and turned into a... No.
Then you'd be making out.
So that's a simple business to do. Is it more convenient for people? Is it solving? Is it a solution to a need?
Right, exactly.
I'd get my teeth cleaned every 60 days if it was $5. And have them tell me whether I needed to go to the dentist, instead of me having to every 6 months, I got to go to the dentist whether I need to or not. Right?
Yeah, that's almost cheap as the tooth.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, and you know what? And I could also sell that stuff to people. And toothbrushes.
Dental floss, all that kind of good stuff, little
Okay.
accessories.
Have you tried this toothpaste? No. And I could probably get free samples.
Exactly.
So that was a simple business. So the SNAP skills are vital. They're not taught anywhere else. How long does it take to go to SNAP? It's 9 months. It's an immersive program. It's 20 hours a week in class, 20 hours a week study, and 30 hours a week employment at $10 an hour. So this is 70 hours a week. It's an immersive program. Times 9 months is almost 2,800 hours. Is going to college 2,800 hours in a year? No. How many hours do people go to college a week?
Well, let's see, most of them go good 6, 7 hours a day, probably 4 or 5 days a week, 7, 6, 4, maybe
Some of them.
30, maybe 35 hours.
Okay, so I don't think it's that much. I think it's like half of that.
Yeah.
Because it's Monday,
One day
Wednesday.
they may go only like 4 hours. And
Right, it
then the
depends on
days
how
like-
many.
Yeah, but most people, it's,
Right.
even when I was in college,
Yeah, I know what you mean,
it was 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
When I was in college, 4 hours a day, 4 days a week. So this is 2,800 intense hours. And we know here, this program here works because people come every day for a certain amount of time. If it was, well, only come for an hour a day, would anybody learn anything? No, because you forget what you learn and then you give up. So this is 2,800 hours in 9 months. And the thing about SNAP, as we said over here, going to college is going to be about a $100,000 investment. So you have time, so let's say that's 6 years, and money, debt, is going to go like that, right? Every year it keeps going up, and this could be 100,000 after 6 years. And this could be, 4 years, it could be 64,000. SNAP,
How are you doing?
SNAP is 1 year. It's 9 months. 9 intensive months. And your debt doesn't go up at SNAP over this. So let's say that's SNAP. You're done with SNAP. Here you're done with college. Instead of going in debt or investing money every year for the next 5 years, at SNAP, you're now able to do what?
Yeah, well,
Make money.
Make money.
You're either an employee or you've got your business. So one of the things that we talk about is amateurs teach amateurs to be amateurs. Can you get in the NBA if you didn't have a good coach somewhere along the line?
No.
Okay, well, statistically, maybe you could.
I mean, yeah,
One in a million.
Right.
Okay. Is anybody in the NBA didn't have a good coach at some point?
No.
Everybody had
Somewhere.
everybody had a good coach somewhere along the line. It was probably before they went to college, and then they had a good coach when they went to college. And nowadays, when they were in high school, they probably went to camps, was former NBA.
All that good stuff.
Okay.
Right.
Amateurs teach amateurs to be amateurs. So SNAP has the best instructor there is. There's only one instructor, and it's the best possible instructor in the world. And this is the person who, very small group of people, have changed life as we know it once. This person's done it twice. He did it the second time as the founder of Chuck E. Cheese. Ever hear of Chuck E. Cheese? Okay. He founded Chuck E. Cheese. That's the second thing he did, and that changed life as we know it. I haven't seen or met any parents who haven't gone to a party at Chuck E. Cheese, birthday party. The first one was the invention of the first commercially successful coin-operated video game, which was what?
Atari.
Pong.
Oh,
was
Pong.
the first game.
Yeah, it was Atari, but it was Pong.
Okay,
Pong.
Atari was the company, Pong was the game. So he did that game, and Asteroids, and Centipede, and I don't know, 60 other games.
Right. I remember
And
my first Atari.
Part of the reason, his name is Nolan Bushnell, and part of the reason Nolan is listed as one of 50 people who've changed America is not because he had the idea for a game. It's because he built Atari, and because he built Chuck E. Cheese, and they were able to open 600 restaurants in 2 years. They got good at getting big fast. Atari got good at getting big fast. They had to go from an idea to a company that manufactured, distributed, serviced, financed games. And they had to come out with games faster than anyone else. Their idea was, people are going to knock off our games. What we have to do as a company is we have to come up with new games faster than they can come up with copies.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Instead of suing them.
Mm-hmm.
So Snap, the cost of Snap is $10,000. And it's 1 year. 1 year at UNLV is $16,000. So it's already $6,000 cheaper than going to UNLV, and you're done.
Again, that's only
You have skills that you're not even gonna, in this 6 years, you're not going to learn all of those skills. You're going to do
Right.
math, you're going to do English,
social sciences,
Yeah.
a lot of things that may not even be relevant to your job.
that you're never going to use in your life.
Right.
Oh, and at
Philosophy.
UNLV, only 10% of the people who graduate actually do what their degree says, unless it's a teaching degree or engineering.
At that point. Right.
Only 10% do what their degree is.
Mm-hmm.
So you spent 6 years and $100,000 to get a degree that you're really not going to use. Why do we do that?
Because that's what we've been taught.
Exactly. That is what we've been taught. That is our culture.
Mm-hmm.
And 100% of the people who graduate, who have been our teachers from kindergarten all the way through, they have all had what? College degrees.
Mm-hmm.
They all went to college. So their view of the world is
Go to
successful people get a college degree. That used to be the case, when you could pay for it, when you could afford to go there. But today, it's indentured servitude. You incur $100,000 worth of debt, and then you spend 20 years to pay it off, or more. So SNAP is $10,000. But the idea, one of the premises of SNAP is there's no debt. No debt. So you could write a check for $6,000 or $10,000. Nobody's going to do that. Right now, we have a $4,000 scholarship. So it's really $6,000. When you are at SNAP, you have a job. Your job, your take home, is about $1,000 a month. Working 30 hours a week at $10. Your take home is about $1,000 a month. Out of your check, you can afford to pay tuition, room, and board, and still have a little bit of money left over to live. If somebody makes a commitment, I want to get this over with now, with SNAP, what is included in the SNAP program is not, you pay your tuition, but you also have room and board. At the end of 9 months, there's going to be no debt. So when somebody says, what does it cost to go to SNAP, it shouldn't really be, the answer isn't really $10,000. The answer is nothing. There's no debt, because you're going to have a job that's going to pay for you to go there. So instead of spending 6 years and owing $100,000, at the end of 1 year, you have skills, you have a job, and now you're making money. Now, people don't have $6,000, right? So to start, you need to have $2,000 to start. Now, we do have financing that costs $25 a month. You can borrow the $2,000. You can borrow the $2,000,
Pay $25.
pay $25 a month, and the way they do this now, it's on a credit card.
Wow.
So you apply for credit and find out in 32 seconds. You get a credit card, you use it to pay the $2,000, you cut up the credit card so you're not tempted to use it. and then you pay off that $2,000 over the year. But in the meantime, you have to pay $25 out of your weekly paycheck, $25 a month out of your paycheck. Okay? Let's say you don't have credit, or you don't have $2,000, you don't have credit. Is it end of ball game at SNAP? No. Why? Because Larson's program is we find a way to help people. So you have to come up with $100 to enroll. To enroll. Now you are enrolled. You can't start taking classes till you've paid $2,000, but you're enrolled. Once you're enrolled, you now qualify for employment. And $75 a week comes out of your check to accumulate the $2,000. So if somebody is committed to their future, they can find $100 somewhere.
Yeah, that's
Family, friends, call. One of Nolan's ideas is go to your neighbors and say, for $5 a month, I'll take your garbage can out and bring it back every month.
Yeah, you can find $100.
Okay. Now you're enrolled. You don't get to start taking classes. You don't get to live in the dorm. You don't get the food, but you have a job. And $75 a week is deducted from your pay till you get this $2,000. Once you get the $2,000, you now get to move into the dorm, which you have to do. You now get to move into the dorm, and this whole program is there. That's on this program. This is called the deep dive.
The deep dive?
Yeah. Okay, now, there's other programs where you don't have to live on campus. But the thing about living on campus is, like, do you think if people go to Harvard, they say, you know, well, I go to Harvard, but I go home at night? No. No. Stanford?
No.
Well, I go to Stanford, but I go home at night.
No.
No.
It's all on campus.
You are there
Right.
because the value of being in this environment is important to learn to build teams, think of things differently. You know, if you're a person who, you know, you can't afford this, your parents can't afford this, you probably don't want to go home at night because you have this thing at school and everybody's saying, yeah, we can conquer the world. We can come up with this great inside of movie and this 3D virtual reality inside the Hyperloop, or we can have this drone program. We can do this. You're around these group of people, but when you go home, what are you faced with?
Yeah, right.
It's real life.
Right.
The problem is a life.
Right.
Okay? So the idea of SNAP, the deep dive is, no, we don't want you to do that. We need you to
Stay in this environment, right?
What's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
Right. So one of Nolan's premises is high school, kids getting out of high school, you need to go out of the home, otherwise you're going to constantly be conditioned to that. And you can't expect people to change if the environment they grow up in is that. Okay? Because the harsh realities of life get to be quite oppressive. So that's the SNAP program. So to get started, it's $100, enroll, have a job, $75 a week set aside, you get this, you start the school. 9 months from here, you're done. At the end, you have no debt. Now you have skills that you're not making $10 an hour, you're making a lot more than 10, or you've started your business, and who is your mentor? Who's the person mentoring you? Who? Nolan. You have the best guy in the world, so if you have an idea, how do I do this?
That's the guy.
So there is no better program. There's no better program. So that's what SNAP is. So, yeah.
My question is, it's a package deal when you are talking about the program and how it's going forward.
Yeah.
Let's say that the person already had very, a past experience.
Is this a
really
friend
what
of yours?
What they're trying to accomplish in
Uh-huh.
learning is just long.
Yeah.
Is it possible just to take
No.
that one class?
No. Well, actually, yeah. It actually is because so SNAP. The answer is yes, because SNAP is really 4 programs. There's 4 on-site and 1 online. There's 1 online program. So the on-site programs, there's a camp, 2-week summer camp that really is designed for kids that are in high school.
Good in the summer.
There's a 6-weekend program that's designed for people who are gainfully employed and they want to go start their own business. Okay, I'm a dentist, I work in a dental office, but I want to go start my own dentist practice, but I know about dentistry, but I don't know accounting, I don't know this stuff.
Marketing, funding.
But I'll go 6 weekends. There's a 3-month for people who are retired that have a pension that want to turn their hobby into a business. A lot of people like that. Or they want to start a second career. They have their pension, they have their whatever, they're getting money every month, but they're bored, they don't know what to do, they have a hobby. Hobbies what? They cost you money, right?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so this is a hobby, you turn your hobby into a business. And it's not intense like the deep dive. It's kind of like Goldilocks. It's not too hard, it's not too easy. You can't do it in 6 weeks, it's just right. It's 13 weeks, it's at a much slower pace so you can absorb stuff. And if you can't make it today because you have to go to the doctor, whatever, not a problem because we're doing it in over a 13-week period. So you have all week to do this that people at SNAP in the deep dive might be doing in a day. And then we have the deep dive, which is 39 weeks, it's 9 months. So those are the 4 programs. So if there's somebody who said, I just want to do the law part, well, that would be a module over here online.
That would have to be online, not on the weekends, not on the, let's say, 6.
Well, we don't have this one fully fleshed out, but it would be reasonable to think, okay, we've got 6 weekends. This weekend we're doing this and this. Next weekend we're doing that, and this. And, so it could be, 2 weekends out of the 6 could have to do with law. So that's possible, but we haven't fleshed that one out, fleshed it out, because our immediate focus is the deep dive. And our interest here is primarily in Las Vegas. 25,000 people are getting out of high school in the next 2 weeks. They're not going back next year. And some of them, 55% of them are going to start college, of which at the end, at 6 years from now, a total of 39% might have graduated after 6 years. 39% of the 55%, not 39% of the 100. Or they're going to work. So these 25,000 people that are getting out of high school are either going to go to work, continue to go to school, join the military, or try to do nothing, or get in trouble and go to jail. So we're focused on the deep dive because this is the time to help these people the most.
Right.
To get the people who
getting out of high school, right.
they shouldn't go to college, they can't go to college.
How about,
Mhm.
when you're saying that we need a 2,000, I'm saying we because I'm already including myself.
Okay.
Okay, that we would need to, work towards the $2,000.
Right.
What kind of work is it that the program is having for these people that are willing to go through the scholarship?
Right.
That
Okay.
would be available for them?
So that's a good question. The question is, what kind of work is it? Well, first of all, it's minimum of $10 an hour. The key is working at a best practices company, because part of it working at this place is money, but the other part is to learn important skills of running a business that you can learn from a business. Follow me? So if you work at a good company, you learn how they do a lot of stuff. Here's how they handle paying people. Here's how they handle if there's a problem with the customer. Here's how they handle things if there's a
So it
problem.
would be still in the learning process.
That 30 hours is part of the learning process.
That's what I'm-
So we in Las Vegas, right now, our goal is to get people into programs that are food related, working in a restaurant. In fact, this company right here, that has 50 restaurants, this is a best practices company. Their challenge is, what they've gotten is, everything's moving to the internet. And today it's not enough just to know how to cook. You have to know how to use the internet to order, payroll, training, customer things, government issues. You have to know how to do it. And if you're a guy who's 40 years old and you've just been a cook your whole life, you don't have a good career path anymore.
Yeah, all your training, all your ordering and all that, and then even now, you have to be able to go to the computer to retrieve the orders. How many people order online?
Exactly. Well, so that's the new thing that's happening is order online. So we try to get people into positions, and we say, it doesn't matter if it's telemarketing. Who cares? You're learning skills. It's a lot different working for a telemarketing company. If you think that's your career, it's like, oh, I'm a total loser. And you only stay there until you can leave, right? But if you look at working in telemarketing as I'm learning skills, I'm learning people skills. When I have my business, I'd like somebody calling customers, so it's good for me to know how to call customers, or vice versa, people coming in. GE, customer service at GE, like if somebody calls to complain about a product, that's a sales job. Because they say, if you have a problem and I solve your problem and you're happy, what might you do?
Yeah, for real, and
buy something else.
Repeat, right?
Okay, you might buy something else. So here's another thing. All people that are actors, before they have their break, if they're adults and they have to have a job, what do most of them do? Waiters.
Server,
Okay.
something like
When I was
that.
in law school,
Bartender.
very common if you're in law school to be a bartender. Why? Well, because you're smart enough to learn how to do drinks. You can do math, probably.
And you need that. You need to support yourself somehow.
Well,
it's an easy job to
it's
get.
an easy job
You
to
listen
get.
to all of the complaints and the
You get ready.
quotes of the-
That's right. You get ready to give people advice. It's training for that. But also, it's not mentally taxing.
Yeah, right.
You know, if you're in law school
right.
for
Doesn't
3
take a lot
hours,
of
9
thought.
hours
Right.
studying, you just want to have something that's like. But if you're a bartender and you're in law school and people say, "What do you do?" What do you say? I'm in law school.
Yeah.
If you're a waiter, if you're an actor, you haven't had your break and you're working at a restaurant as a waiter and you're at a cocktail party and people say, "What do you do?" What do they say?
So they're active.
They say they're an actor.
Yeah.
Okay, they just are a waiter
Struggling
to pay the
active.
bills.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so at SNAP, it's the same thing with the job. It's for learning purposes and to pay for SNAP. It's not to help in the career that you're going to do. Because let's say you wanted to have a dental cleaning truck.
Right. And you're just doing the restaurant, like I said, to pay you.
But
through the
you
school
learn-
to get that, right.
It pays for school, but you learn, here's how good companies operate. Here's how they treat people. Here's how they treat their employees.
There's still a balance of $4,000 that's still gonna need to be paid.
No, but that's out of your, okay, so here's how the numbers work. Okay, SNAP, $10,000.
Right.
You got a $4,000 scholarship.
So anybody that has a question, is usually everybody else has the same question. So, tuition, $10,000.
Mhm.
Scholarship,
4,000.
It's 4,000.
$4,000.
And these 6,000.
That leaves $6,000.
Then you got
Okay, so you
2,000.
have room is $4,000. It's $100 a week. Okay, it's 39 weeks, but let's just do simple math. Food is $150 a month. So let's say that's $1,500. Okay, let's say it was 10 months. So 150 times 10 is 1,500. Okay, so that's 5,500. $5,500. But I'm going to add 500 just to make it simple. So now that's 6,000, right? So that's 12. This 6,000 plus this 6,000 is what? 12,000, right? Okay, so your job, once you start school, you've paid $2,000, right?
Right.
Okay, minus 2,000, so you owe 10. Okay, your job that you have, as I said, is going to generate $1,000 a month. So that's 9,000, but I added stuff on here. Let's just say that works out like that, right? So you owe $10,000. You're going to generate $10,000. You owe 0, right? Now you're thinking, well, wait, where did this 2,000 come from?
Right.
Okay, well that 2,000 came from you started working before you went to school.
So you're gonna start working before.
If you don't want to borrow the money, the $2,000, then yeah, you work before.
What would you determine the time span that would have to be worked before you?
Okay, so if you only wanted, so the minimum, good question, the minimum is $75 a week. That's the minimum. If you did it $75 a week, it will take 6 months. If you're living at home, and you could say, well, I'm making $300 a week, I want to have $150 a week come out. Now it's going to take 3 months because you're paying off at the rate of $600 a month. If you said, I want to have all of my money, $300 a week, it's going to take a month and a half. It'll take 6 weeks. Like if your parents said, hey, all of your money, I want you to go to SNAP, all of your money, that $300 a week, that goes, it'll take less than 2 months to get that $2,000. So but for our purposes at SNAP, we don't want this to be like going to UNLV where it's 6 years. It's you got to have at least $75 a week come out of your check. And if you're a high school kid living at home and you're getting $300 a week, $75 a week is probably too little because it gives you too much money to maybe do some things that are going to get you sidetracked. Okay, so did that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Also, I have one more question.
Yeah.
Because I have my son
Mm-hmm.
that he probably would be interested. Is there a way that FAFSA can be applied?
Good question. And the answer is no. Now, for his purposes, if he went to SNAP and decided to go to college after and he had this behind him and he had a job still, right? Now he goes to college, he now can use his FAFSA to pay for college, and it's not going to take him 6 years to get out. It's going to take 4 or maybe less because he could take more credits than normal because he's already done all this stuff, except his, required classes. So no, and that goes back to the beginning. SNAP is a business, and what SNAP wants to do, what Nolan wants to do, is cut through the red tape, cut through the gatekeepers, the people that have to approve you to do something. We want to make it as easy as possible. You want to start school? Here's what you need to do. You got to have $100, and you can be enrolled. And
So what's the like the ceremony, the graduation process as far as certificates?
Okay, another good thing. So SNAP is sort of like the Navy SEALs in that the Navy SEALs end up on a team, right?
Right.
Like you've heard of Team 6?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So the Navy SEALs work on teams, and I think there's 12 teams. I don't remember now, but I used to know. And so every campus is a team. So Los Angeles is Team 2.
Okay.
Okay. We have open enrollment, but ours for SNAP is once a month, the first Monday of every month. And that's class 1 or 2 or 3. So here you have, I'm on Team 2, class 1. That means I was in the very first class at this campus.
Mm-hmm.
5 years from now, would that be kind of cool?
Yeah. Say you were there. You like broke the ground.
I'm Team 1.
Yeah, right.
Team
You were
2,
the first grads to ever
class
do
1.
this. Right. In this campus.
Yeah, you meet somebody, and remember, Nolan built these things, Atari and Chuck E. Cheese. There's going to be SNAP campuses everywhere very soon, all over the world very soon, because when Nolan talks to people, it's sort of like Bill Gates saying, hey, I'm doing this. Does anybody want to have a campus?
Like E.F. Hutton, huh?
Yeah.
People talk, he listen.
Yeah, he talks, they listen. So 5 years from now, you run into a guy and he says, oh yeah, I'm Team 43, class 8.
Class 8. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm Team 2, class 1.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's
right. I got you.
So that's how it's going to be. Every campus is a team.
And then you have graduation classes from 1 to however infinity. Or
right.
Whatever. Right.
For their when their 9 months is done, there's their ceremony.
Right. Okay.
Every
got
month.
it. Okay.
Okay. And that's it. Any other questions?
I don't have any questions. Yeah.
When would be an expected start date?
Well, that's part of the reason I'm here, to see when we're ready. But it could be July, first Monday in July, if it's not the 4th.
Okay.
What is that? What's the first?
I think that's the 4th of July, the first.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then it would be the 5th.
That falls on a.
So that would be the
That
5th.
falls on a Monday, I think.
Yeah, July 4th is on a Monday.
So it would be July 5th.
July 5th. That would be that Tuesday.
Okay, and it's all team. Everything everybody does is working with the team. It's kind of like the Navy SEALs in that regard, that it's a team. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the tape. Thank you, world, for being there.